Yes.
One quick AI story, then we'll go into a deep dive of UFO disclosure tonight and what it means to the church is, this is an alarming headline. The head of the Federal Artificial Intelligence Safety Organization calls it quits, resigns from the Commerce Department after only 3 months in the role. Dr. Chris Fall, the director of the Commerce Department's Safety-Centered Artificial Intelligence Organization, has resigned. Two sources familiar with the matter told the Daily Signal. Fall, who served the first Trump administration as the Department of Energy and the director of the Office of Science, was tapped to lead the Commerce Department's Center for AI Standards and Innovation in late April. Following Chris's departure, says Dr. Arvind Raman will continue to oversee and will serve as acting director. The Trump administration had initially picked him, a former researcher at Anthropic and OpenAI, to lead this safety of AI safety organization. While Burns was onboarding process, the Commerce Department selected Fall to lead the organization, the Daily Signal reported. Fall resigned after only 3 months in the role. This comes after the Commerce Department imposed export controls on Anthropic's new models due to concerns about offensive cyber capabilities. The agency lifted the export controls after about 2 weeks. Anthropic said at the time the researchers had tested both our prior and new safeguards. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's trouble at the top of the safety. And it's every single video, at least in my algorithm, because of what I watch,
right,
is these people that are leaving these companies. They are former OpenAI employees, former Anthropic employees, former Google AI employees.
Are you going to say that
they're all terrified?
You're going to lean into that they actually have a conscience?
They have. Maybe that's what they're saying they have.
Okay.
But they are saying, I mean, I was sent that with.
They're bothered. They can't do this anymore because they're upset. They're scared. Yes. They're scared for themselves. They're scared for humanity.
I sent you that one video the other day where the guy said he worked, I think it was a former employee of OpenAI, and he told his wife, he went home and he said, baby, listen, I hate to tell you this, but we're not having any more children.
Yep.
And she's like, we talked about this, and he basically, elaborates and alludes to that I don't think they'll ever finish school. I don't think that they will get the training that they have. I forgot the exact words he said, but basically you have these people that are on the inside seeing these things that are altering their life goals.
Yeah.
Because of the fear that they have of what is about to come. And when they're pushed on the timeline, they're saying 2 years, 3 years. It's over. That's what they're saying. Now, we're not doom and gloom here. No. We're not accepting that.
We're passing along the information of what they are saying. Yeah. Hearing it is disturbing, and it does bother us. It does bring some concern. That doesn't mean what they say is actually going to be what happens, but there's cause for concern, and we all know that.
Yeah.
We're not telling you anything that you don't already know, that you need to be watchful. And we can all see the changes. We can see the part of the progression they allow us to see.
Right.
Now, military grade is probably way more intense than anything we are ever exposed to or allowed to see, but we are seeing this happen before our eyes.
Well, I said I was in Orlando, and we went out to lunch afterwards. And if they're watching, then I won't tell all the business. But so I go out to lunch with some leaders in the church, and I'm used to going out to lunch afterwards when I train, and when I go somewhere and when I speak, and we'll talk about leadership things. Is what I'm saying. We'll usually talk about leadership things afterwards, and
all the good parts,
all the good parts of ministry.
Always just the good parts.
So we're sitting there eating my favorite Mexican, and all of a sudden the questions start coming. Pastor Larry, what does the church need to do about AI and about UFOs? So it ends up being a 2-hour conversation where we get into it. But I'm saying we'll get into that. But the first part, on the AI part, one of the leaders that was there said, I have a friend of mine who is an electrician that is a master electrician, and he lives out. And if you're watching, you know who you are. I may get this state wrong, but I think he said Utah. But he said, there is a data center that is being built that he's working on. He's one of the lead electricians. He said, this is not hearsay. He's on the job. And he said, this thing is several miles long. And he said,
is it above ground?
It's above ground. And he said these words to me. He said, my friend told me that we have calculated that it will take more power to run this one data center, listen to this, than it takes to run the whole state. That's what he told me.
What?
That's what he told me. That's what he told me. Now, this is a spread out state. This is not like Texas. He said it is on the equivalent of the power usage of Dallas-Fort Worth. So you know what they're doing? He's also helping to build the nuclear power plant.
Of course.
So there are what's happening.
Is it going to be fully provided for by this nuclear?
Supposedly.
Because if they got to do that and still draw from
I don't know.
The grid, I mean.
But this is what he said. The guy told him that's the pattern. We've covered that, but it was good to have actual real world confirmation that these data centers are. The electricians know this is coming. They are building them, and when they propose them, one of the reasons why that communities are pushing back is because they're not just proposing them, and some of these cities are pushing back because the power is going to take from them and their power bills are going to go up. It's also a package deal. We have to have a nuclear plant there as well.
So they don't want the nuclear. They can't tolerate it pulling from or adding to their power bills and all this kind of stuff. I think there's somewhere around us that has just recently put forth a moratorium.
Well,
is it Jefferson County or Birmingham?
It's Birmingham, but you must have not seen it. Okay. I was surprised. Our little town of Pinson, Alabama just put one out.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That they are going to propose a moratorium. Pinson, I was like, they're building a data center in my little town.
I mean, technically, we may have possibly more land that could be used. But you are correct. I did see that as well. And I'm glad that our administration is that forward thinking to do that.
Here's the thing, Sandy. They can't stop it.
They can't stop it. Ultimately,
it's temporary. They can't stop it.
There's not enough known. We've heard all these complaints. We've heard people, they're having medical issues.
Yeah.
It is giving
constant humming.
It's giving nervous,
vibrations,
neurological issues. The lack of water, the increased power bills. I mean, these are just some of the things that we know. There's probably other issues that are out there that we can't even understand.
Think about this. Elon's got the answer. He's always got the answer, right? He just said, let's just put them in space.
He did say that.
Let's just put them in space. Yeah, that's the answer right there, Elon. Go Elon. All right, so let's go into a little deep dive here. So it was funny. The pastor looked at me at one point and said, look, I've got you here in Orlando. I need you to help me understand, what does the church need to know about this whole thing called disclosure? What are we ready? And well, the answer to that is no, the church is not ready as a whole. Some churches are, but most are not. And some Christians' faith will not be shaken because they're strong. But a lot of Christians' faith will be shaken for what is coming. This is not hype, y'all. This is a coordinated effort that is happening right now. Now, what I want to show you is we're going to rapid fire through some videos, X as well as YouTube. And I'm just going to show you some people, what they're saying. They're out there talking about it, and they're interviewing guests. And these are not your mainline preachers. These are not any well-known preachers that you know. These are people in the know of UFO disclosure. Some of them are believers, some of them are not. Some of them are just into the paranormal, and they just throw Christianity and religion all into one thing. Right. But there's a pattern here. The supernatural and the paranormal is being discussed in these huge podcasts on a level that I didn't ever think I would ever see. And it is an understanding that whatever this thing is that people are seeing and encountering, people are waking up to the fact that it is at the very least supernatural. More and more people who are not even believers are not even saying interplanetary. They're saying interdimensional. They're buying into that. They're talking about portals. They're talking about things. And you say, well, they're just doing that for clicks. I know that some are. I know that some are not believers, and some of them not only believe in UFOs and all this, but their whole channel is built on UFOs because they found a niche and they're making a lot of money. I get that. But there's also more to it. There's some very serious people that really believe this, that have a lot invested in what kind of narrative comes out. All right. So one of them is and I'm not speaking anything ill against you because one day I'd like to have you on my show, Dan. But Dan Farah, who is the producer of the documentary, The Age of Disclosure. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
Came out of, was it November?
Last November. Last November.
Last November. He's been making the rounds. He's now becoming not just the director of Ready Player One and several other movies. He's becoming a source. People are bringing him on shows, CNN, Fox News, the main lines, as well as the big podcasts are bringing him on, not to talk about Age of Disclosure, but to ask him the intelligence that is being given to him. Now, this is, I'm really not familiar with this guy, what show his. I've never seen him before, but so Dan Farah's on there. So let's just play what he says, and then we'll talk about it.
Is the best microphone? Big picture.
Carl.
What?
His microphone says Carl.
Stefanik. Do you know that name?
Do not.
Carl Stefanik. Okay. All right. So let's play this.
Is the best big picture briefing of this very complicated situation that the public can lawfully get right now. But the key there is that's just what can lawfully be shared, right? So it's really extraordinary information. You watch this doc, and if you take it all for what they're saying it is, it's extraordinary. But that's only what can legally be disclosed. So, you can use your imagination and think about what's on the other side of that line. What's the stuff that can't be disclosed yet? That's even more extraordinary than what's revealed here.
Okay.
And there's a lot.
Just on that, because
all right, so I'm gonna continue to play. That was just sort of
he's Australian.
He's Australian. Mm-hmm. This Australian podcast. Now, here's the thing that he's talking about the Age of Disclosure, and he's in the movie, and he's saying these are the things that we were able to tell you up to the line, but there are things on the other side of that line that we can't tell you yet that are coming very soon. And so this guy's going to ask a question, and then he's going to drop something that I don't think he's ever said publicly before.
Now the juices of my conspiracy theories have just come alive. Paint a little picture on what they could be in terms of the way we travel, in terms of technology, how much we're utilizing, what we're diving into, what we're copying.
Well, so for example, so just to give you an example, in my film, a couple very senior, credible intelligence officials put the rep on the line to say they know that a contact event happened on a U.S. Air Force base involving non-human intelligent life and elements of the Air Force and the CIA. That's what they felt they could comfortably legally say, right? Okay, so then what's for that one specific situation, what would be on the other side of that is what was the interaction? Mm-hmm. Was there a trade of some sort? Was there some agreement reached? Like what's there? What happened there? Was it filmed? You would assume so. Is that footage going to be released to the public at some point? So that's an example.
So
were they from the Galactic Federation?
Who knows? And I do not think, I've seen another clip of him talking about this, that he's not talking about the meeting with Eisenhower. He's talking about a more modern meeting.
Really?
And I think it's interesting for those that follow what I talk about in the book, the Watchers and how they crossed over, and that what we feel like aliens really are, fallen angels and that kind of technology, that even Dan Farah said, was there a deal made? Was there technology offered? Well, probably yes. I would think that if you're going to cross dimensions, if you have a biblical worldview, then you understand that humans have dominion. Anything that's outside of a human is an alien. If you're not from this world, you are by de facto an alien in the sense that you are not here.
Right.
And I don't want to get labeled a heretic here when I say this, because I'm not calling Jesus an alien, but I'm saying this, that even Jesus himself, the Word of God, became flesh and dwelt among us. Yeah. Why? Because it was his system that he put in place, that you have to have flesh on your body. You have to be born of a woman. And if any man comes in any other way, he's a thief and a robber. So he came that way. Well, these aliens, these beings, whatever they are, they're not coming that way. They don't have the ability to come that way. So they have to have people to manipulate or to possess. Yes. And I feel like we have some very powerful people that are being manipulated, that are not just being manipulated, but I think also some of these very powerful people see that technology and see that power, and they are inviting them to come.
Even the watchers, we're not trying to turn this into a Bible lesson, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Even the watchers ruled by proxy through their children, correct?
Absolutely.
Their children,
the Nephilim.
Their children were hybrids.
They were hybrids. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And what did Matt Gaetz say that he was told by high up military? That we have a hybrid program. Allegedly.
And he was in Florida?
He was in Florida.
Listen.
And we talked about over Mexican as well, about their Mac. I said, you got two folks. You got Matt Gaetz talking about hybrids here that is going on in this state that I'm at right now. And you got Anna Paulina Luna that's out front from your state as well.
What did they have to say about that? They're two, former representative and also now Anna Paulina Luna.
Y'all, they were just like rolling with it. They were just letting me go, and they were just like sponges.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the fact that Matt Gaetz was probably talking about Eglin Air Force Base?
Yeah.
Probably. Is that not also in
Florida?
Florida?
Yeah, I think so.
You Floridians.
Allegedly.
What are you
Allegedly, he was talking about that.
Okay.
Everything's allegedly.
Even if he wasn't talking about Eglin, there's a lot of talk about Eglin.
There is.
And I want to know what it is.
Well, maybe we can go one day. Maybe we can find somebody on the inside.
Yeah, they're going to let us in to do a live spot.
They're going to run a background check on us, and they're going to find that video of when we got run off from Area 51.
You two need to get in your car.
They're on the list.
Go away.
Watch out. They'll try to make a selfie.
Go back home.
All right. So Ross Cohart.
Oh, gotta love
is he a plant? Probably. I mean, come on, Ross. I know you watch our show. Did you hear Dan Farrar give a shout out to the big picture?
Yes, I did.
He did.
Thank you, by the way, Dan Farrar.
Yeah, I know he watches. But there's a lot of debate on Ross, whether he's really he's a genuine investigative reporter or is he controlled opposition, whatever you call it. But let's listen to this. I will give him props. He is bringing forth things that no one else is bringing forth.
Yes.
Ross Cohart just dropped this. Let's just play it. This is him discussing Warner von Braun and Uri Geller.
But there are numerous claims from many witnesses now that there's been retrieved non-human bodies, live and dead. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think one of the most interesting ones, and we've had him on the show, is Uri Geller, the Israeli psychic, who describes his meeting with Werner von Braun, where he was taken to a facility close to Washington, D.C., interestingly enough, where he was shown bodies in a NASA facility. And there is indeed a photograph that was covertly taken by one of Uri's colleagues, which showed them inside the NASA facility at the time, but sadly, no images of the bodies. And look, frankly, that's consistent with what I understand about Werner von Braun, that he was obviously the father of the Apollo space program, a former Nazi and SS member himself, who was brought over as part of Operation Paperclip and rehabilitated within the United States national security structure to run the space program. And he allegedly also was briefed into the retrieval of non-human technology and non-human beings. And he, in the course of his operations, showed Uri Geller things that he probably shouldn't have showed him. And that's been a consistent claim of Uri Geller, and there are multiple other witnesses who have said similar things. But there are...
So the pattern here that we're building is that more and more people, like Ross Cohart and many others, are no longer talking just about crafts.
Right.
Now they're more and more and more turning their attention to bodies.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. This isn't my question, but apparently it is the question of some because we keep hearing it over and over. Show us the bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
When are you going to show us the bodies?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my thinking. I've seen in everything from the X-Files to Independence Day 1 and 2, the movie we just saw, Disclosure Day, and a bunch of other movies and television shows in between that. There seems to be a lot of similarity to me in the way that they are presented, almost like a bunch of people got on the same page with their story, or maybe somebody decided this is what you're going to make them look like. Everybody make sure they look like this.
Right.
Either way, it's like there's a collective belief that this is pretty much what they look like. What do you think about that?
Well, my thought of that is the one they chose if it's true, the alleged 4 different species that they have.
Can you name them?
If
name
that's
them.
true.
Name them.
Okay, there's the reptilians, there's the Nordics, there's the grays, and the tall whites.
I believe
that's the Nordics. The Nordics are tall whites, right? Mantis.
The mantis.
The mantis.
I think you are correct on that.
But here's where I'm going.
I'm very proud of you, by the way.
Thank you. Here, I mean, look, I don't even know if I believe
passed.
that. But here's what I'm saying.
2 stars for you.
If that's allegedly true,
Yep.
they've chosen the grays
Yes.
to be what you're talking about.
Because they're the least, not hostile, but
Many people call them meat suits.
yes, they do.
So
they're what is referred to as ebens, correct? Extraterrestrial biological entity.
Yeah.
Are they just a synthetic suit?
Okay, so you know more about this than me. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Is not the other 3, did they not have the ability to morph into something or live among us? One of them, the Nordics, they say just live among us. And then the reptilians can put skin on all this. The only one that I can think of that doesn't have that ability is the grays. And I think that's why they chose it to sort of divert.
The least threatening, the most docile, whatever. Okay.
That's just a thought. I don't know. I'm not saying I even believe this.
We're not qualified to do a deep dive. Maybe we're just skimming the top here. Okay.
Just conjecture.
In reference to abduction, it's always the grays, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have the ability to so-called make people pass through walls using
supposedly, allegedly,
science that we don't understand, supposedly, whatever. I don't think that even happens in all cases as far as the being taken part. But when people are being examined, experimented on, all that, it's always the gray standing over them, right?
Like in Disclosure Day.
Always presented to us in movie, media, and so forth, that they are piloting the craft, even though there are many reports that craft are not piloted, that, they are being guided through psionics or whatever. So, you've got different things going on there, but they are what is presented to us in piloting, in abduction, in moving you, from place to place.
So are we being distracted from the whole NHI by the grays,
right?
By the topic of the grays.
Right.
Let's continue. We got to get through this. So this is Danny Jones. Many of you follow Danny Jones. We're going to show a couple of different clips from him. He's not afraid to cover this, and I think he's one of those influencers that's open. He's on a journey. I don't think he professes at all to be a Christian, but he's bringing a lot of Christians on, and he's bringing a lot of people on to talk about God. And he just had Gary Wayne on. And man, he just blew his mind. I mean, he just brought the receipts when it comes to biblical. But this is a recent show. I don't see if it has the other guy's name on there. Ben Swan. He's an investigative journalist. And I'm just going to play it. Just let y'all hear what these 2 guys said about the church and UFO disclosure.
We got this, but apparently there was a plan in the White House. There was a plan for the government to come out and say, A, there is no God, and B, we were engineered by aliens. And then last minute they scrapped it. That's not a good idea. Let's not do that.
Okay, so that's what I was hearing also.
Oh, really?
Yes. that the concept is this, that the Bible is not true, that the whole Jesus is a myth, and that these things are the old gods, and that they're the ones who have created all life on earth.
Jeez.
And that it's pushed by this group of people who are they are believers in this, but they are the foremost ones who are advising on this alien stuff. And that's what this whole disclosure thing. And by the way, it's not a coincidence that Steven Spielberg has a movie called Disclosure.
It's coming out any day now.
Yeah, it's coming out in June.
Yeah.
And this movie is timed for a reason, along with all this stuff.
That's fishy. Mm-hmm.
My goodness, this whole line of thinking is somewhat familiar. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere.
I think somebody's even wrote about it. But I certainly don't believe that I'm the only one that said that. But I think it's interesting that both of them were not just talking about something heard on YouTube. They were saying their sources were telling them that in the White House, this was that people were pushing for this to happen. Now, I don't know that. I have no knowledge of that. I have not been told that by anybody. But these are two podcasters here. One of them is an investigative reporter saying, I heard that too, and it was scrapped at the last minute.
I watched this episode, but I can't remember. Now, do you think they were referencing maybe the president's current spiritual advisors, like right now, or other government officials, or even people from a past administration or sometime in the past?
Deep state people.
But is he talking about right now, or maybe even sometime in the recent past?
Well, if you go back and watch the video clip, they're talking about the current administration that was getting ready to do this, and they scrapped it. Yeah. They scrapped it. Why in the world would you even agree to do that as an organization? I mean, if you come, it's not one thing to say it's going to challenge people's faith, but they're saying that people in the White House were literally throwing around the thought of, let's just go ahead and tell them that we created them. That the demons created us. All this, the fallen angels created us. I thought that was interesting, and I just want to let that play on its own. And then we go to another Danny Jones clip, and this one here is not necessarily about aliens, but it's about, because this guy is what they call a demonologist, Nathaniel Gillis, and I've seen him before. I think he's been on the confessionals. But listen to what he says here.
Wasn't there something that the Vatican came out with that where they said that people were going to be they were warning that people were going to be trying to paint religious portraits onto the UFO phenomenon or something like that, or try to correlate it with religion, and they were like trying to warn about that or something?
Yeah, I think you're talking about because I think I read that too, where they were talking about apparitions and religious figures.
Yeah, apparitions. Yeah.
So the reason they're doing that is because they're realizing that some of these entities will appear as religious figures.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And when people try to say, okay, religion doesn't have a role to play in this, that's quite the opposite of the phenomenology. We're talking about a lot of people who have met these entities that will take on the appearance of a religious figure. Dr. Carla Turner had plenty of those cases where I hate to use the word archetype, but it's a predictable manifestation. So
Diana Pasolka wrote about this in, I think, her recent book, where she said somebody had Michael the Archangel hovering over her or something.
Absolutely.
He said Diana
it's that
Pasolka.
interface.
What'd you say?
He's talking about Dr. Diana Pasolka is who he said.
Okay.
It's no more Michael the Archangel than it was Mickey Mouse. It's something different. And this idea, though, that it's present with us but absent from, what's present with us is the mask. I don't think we've actually ever truly seen its form, or maybe it doesn't even have a form.
Right.
It could condescend itself into our reality to be perceived by us. There's a lot of theories regarding that, but there is an underlying deception present.
So what do you think's going on with these orbs? Because that guy Chris Bledsoe sees them all the time and he films them. And
are you going to pause? I want to bring up apparition.
Okay.
Again, I cannot remember everything I saw in this episode either, but that leans into Fatima.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In 1917.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 different occasions. Now, it started with the children.
Yeah.
And there were at least 2 other occasions where these humongous crowds came out in this field or whatever to see this. And they said, did they not say that it appeared as Mary?
Oh, absolutely, it's Mary. But it's not Mary.
It's not Mary.
And this is what
he's talking about.
So okay.
And he's talking about multiple individuals have had this happen to them. Now, when he mentioned Diana Pasolka, she was brought up in the meeting, in our meeting. She and Chris Bledsoe were referred to often.
And he's about to talk about Chris Bledsoe.
Okay.
And how many times they use and twist the word of God. And what he's saying is that these entities, he's calling them basically from the spirit realm, will manifest, as you're talking about Mary at Fatima, which is obviously to the Catholic Church I would say to some people more important than Jesus, but
right.
is on that same level.
And this happened in the part of the world where there was no other game in town. It was
Right.
just Catholicism.
Right.
So, hey, yeah, of course, even the more so.
So
powerful.
what I've said for decades is I believe these entities will appear, whether taking on the form or using technology to project or whatever, not just Jesus and a false return of Jesus, but also Muhammad, also Buddha, whatever they need to appear as to speak to that religion, to say, look, we're all in this together. And that is what I believe you're beginning to see secular non-believers who are interested and curious about this topic. They're more open to understanding the spirit realm than the church is.
Absolutely.
That's what's so frustrating is church people is like, I don't want to hear about that. Just talk about Jesus. Just talk about Jesus. I don't want to hear about that. But the world is saying, tell me what this is.
And these people, these ministers, these whoever they are, they see this as an obstacle, quite frankly. Let's bring your experience up. I don't have time for that. I need to focus on this.
Yeah.
We don't understand that this is not necessary. Yeah, some of it needs to go away, but it's not necessarily an obstacle for you to get to the people and minister to the people. It's part of the process in many instances.
If you don't understand the days of Noah and why it happened, you do not have a lens to look at the world we look at.
Come on.
It is the key that unlocks it all.
Right.
It will even, when you really fully understand what Jesus was saying, as in the days of Noah, you will understand why Jesus even went to certain places and said what he said at those places. Now, it's not all about Genesis 6. I'm not so infatuated with that. Those that know me know I don't preach on that every single time I preach. But when you have no understanding of the image and the seed war that is really going on in the spirit realm, that spiritual warfare is really real, you're going to be the ones that fall away. You're going to be the ones that fall for this deception. Now, one other thing I want to say is notice that they talked about the Catholic Church. He led with the question, the Catholic Church is preparing. Y'all, you look at Disclosure Day, and I know we have people that are probably some Catholics that watch this. I'm not trying to take a shot at all Catholics. No. But it is interesting that on Disclosure Day, leading up to the movie, Steven Spielberg gave multiple interviews. And he on his own, if they didn't bring it up, he brought up religion. It was very obvious. He was determined to tell people some people are going to rethink their religion when they watch this before anybody ever saw the movie. So we're all going in thinking that this is going to approach religion, but it didn't. It only approached one religion and only one sect of that religion, the largest group in that religion, the Christian religion, the Catholics. So it showed the nuns and it showed Catholicism, it showed the cross, it showed the Eucharist, and it did all of that. No other religion was focused on, never even mentioned, like it don't even exist. And Steven Spielberg is a Jew. He didn't even mention that. So then you go back and listen to his interviews pre-movie coming out. And he's saying it's going to cause you to rethink religion. He knew. Nobody else knew. He knew there would only be one religion in that movie. So he was speaking of Christianity. He was not speaking of anything else. This was a direct assault against Christianity. So then you factor in, we've covered this for years now, that we've been told that several rabbis have said that they're prepared to either baptize these aliens or be baptized by the aliens. Okay, that there are elder brothers and all this. Lo and behold, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I did not see this coming. There is a new documentary that has been produced, very well produced, on the Catholic perspective of UFOs and UFO disclosure. And it features none other than the most famous whistleblower of all time, David Grush, who professes to be a Catholic.
Is this out now or coming out?
I think it's coming out. Let's watch this.
So this was provided to us by Red.
Let's watch this again.
When I was 12 years old, shooting hoops in my backyard, I looked up and there was a cylindrical object in the sky, down, up, side, and then shot out of sight.
At night, we walked along the beach and two large objects appeared in the sky, each one about the size of a full moon. We were terrified and we jumped in the car and drove back to my house.
And at that moment, I was hooked. I realized all of those people that are claiming they've seen something in the sky, most of them might just be telling the truth.
The thought of me speaking to you now about UAPs and these phenomena 5 years ago would have been absolutely ludicrous. Obviously, things have changed.
The very definition of insanity, tinfoil hat. We're now being told maybe there's something to it.
I'm David Grush. I was a career intelligence officer in the U.S. Air Force. I essentially became the first whistleblower to testify under oath.
I remember thinking a lot about his testimony. He directly connected the claims about these secret programs to the Vatican.
The claim is that in 1933, a craft crashed near Magenta, Italy. Pope Pius XII got in touch with the American government and said, we think you ought to have it.
The Roman Catholic Church must be very cautious. What will the general people think?
I wanted to see the big picture. If they're real, then how does it fit in what we believe? And it didn't fit well at all.
It didn't make sense to me as a devout Christian that God would have told us everything and just leave out 99% of reality.
People want to think the aliens are all fun and games, and the reality is it's not. And the stakes are really high.
It kind of ultimately leads to, what if this renders Christianity false?
As a Catholic, I actually have more questions than answers, and I would like the church to lead on this.
Question of other persons, of fallenness in other worlds, where but the Catholic faith would I look to try to find some understanding?
If the church at the highest levels does know something, the time for transparency is now.
We really are just at the very beginning of a massive, massive journey.
So it's not of this world.
Not of this world. Catholic faith in the age of disclosure. So what did you think about David Grush saying, as a Catholic, I want, and as the first official whistleblower, I want the church to lead on this. Did you catch that phrase?
I totally caught that phrase, and it carries some weight because it makes perfect sense that he's Catholic and he can lean into the fact that he really is the first whistleblower. And, that does carry some weight.
It does.
And he is putting it out there. Come on, guys.
And in this documentary, all those people that were speaking were either professors or teachers or people connected high up into training in Catholicism. And one of them said something like, my fear is, what if this renders Christianity irrelevant? And think about the line that the other guy said, I struggle with the fact, and it shows the book of Genesis, and it says, I struggle with the fact that the God that I've believed in all this time gave me this Bible and kept 99% of the world, of the truth, of what's really going on from me.
Right.
So
well, that's not an accurate statement. First of all, you need to delve into your scripture and you'll find more. But this should shake people and make them understand the very thing that has been said on this show over and over.
Yes.
There is a credible concern about the church.
100%.
When he can say something like that, yeah, the church needs to understand we need to be concerned. There are some people that are not grounded in the faith, Christianity, as well as they should be. Maybe they could be easily pulled away.
Oh, they will be.
Easily pulled away. This is,
You say, well, how are you so full of yourself to say they will be? I didn't say it. The Bible said there'll be a great falling away, and you don't fall away from a fallen state. So it's not meaning the world's going to get worse. It means there'll be people in the church that will fall away because of the strong delusion.
And the concern is for them.
Yes. And look, let me go back to David Grush. David Grush, I'll give him credit for a lot. I mean, a lot of people that know him on both sides of the aisle, they all say, one thing I said about David Grush, he's an honest man. He's always been an honest man. That's it. At least that's his reputation that's being spun out there. The narrative about David Grush is that he has always been an up and up guy. Whatever. But he's now openly, multiple occasions, spoke of his Catholic faith. Okay. Now he is saying, as the number one whistleblower in the world, then you might say this, depending on where you fall on Catholicism, the number one believer in the world that believes in these things and said he's seen these things and is calling for disclosure. He is the one that is saying, I want my church to lead this discussion in this narrative. So, okay, that's the Catholicism side. Well, we're Protestant. Let's go over to the Protestant side here. Where are the voices in the Protestant movement that have influence on even a percentage of a level that this man has, that is saying, where are the pastors?
We know
where are the church?
We know some of the voices. I was particularly proud that John Bevere and his son on their podcast put something forth several months ago.
Yeah.
Of course, all of our friends that we associate with, personal friends, they've been talking about this for a while. You know what you get here on The Big Picture. But yes, there needs to be more, and it needs to be balanced.
Needs to be balanced.
It doesn't need to be talked about continually all the time.
No.
But there does need to be a preparatory phase, at least, in the church.
Sandy, we cannot be a reactionary message.
No.
We cannot wait till it gets out and then say, oh, okay, now let me tell you what I think it is. That's when our people's going to fall. We need to be preemptive. We need to go on the offensive.
Yes.
And we need to go to the Bible. Not to man, not to Washington, D.C., not to a disclosure, not to some YouTuber.
Yes.
What does the Word of God say that we should be looking for?
And even those that don't fall away, we don't want to see anyone stricken, gripped with fear.
No.
That they can't even function in life because this is such a trauma and a fear-based thing in their life. It does not need to be that way.
Okay.
You don't have to go about it that way.
100%. All right. So another very interesting thing happened this week in the last week or two. You know, what is it? 4 tranches now of videos that they put out now? I think it's 4.
Believes.
So right before the 4th, something interesting happened. Of all people, Donald Trump gives Dr. Phil exclusive access before they drop it on the website.
Please tell me your thoughts and opinions on this.
I will after this.
Because I was thinking about it too.
Is the government using Dr. Phil to prepare mainstream America for UFO disclosure? Let's listen to this guy here.
Let me fill you in on something.
Our government has been lying to us for at least 79 years.
Yep, the mustache of judgment himself has just entered the UFO conversation, and he's claiming that the government gave him early access to the 4th tranche of UFO files released on war.gov, accompanied by a handwritten note from Donald Trump himself that simply said, "Have fun with this." But why did Dr. Phil suddenly decide to talk to his audience about UFO disclosure?
I'm talking to you about this to help you know how to wrap your mind around this. What do we say to ourselves? How do we deal with this? Psychologically, sociologically, spiritually, what does all of this mean?
And why in the world would the government reach out to a daytime TV staple of all people and hand him unreleased UFO documents? Also, was Dr. Phil really their first choice to prep the general public for the reality that we are not alone? Well, according to public intellectual Sam Harris, he wasn't. Because Sam claims that back in 2021, right before the first historical UAP report was published, a government representative contacted him and Eric Weinstein and requested their assistance with the forthcoming rollout of UFO disclosure.
Someone reached out to me and has assured me that, I'm going to be on a Zoom call with, former heads of, the CIA and Office of Naval Research and people, and they're concerned about the messaging around all of this to the public and dampening down panic and conspiracy theories. And
it's all about the messaging, but more specifically, it's all about controlling the messaging.
Yeah.
They're looking for smart, well-spoken voices with massive platforms to serve as the middlemen between the government and the governed to ease the public into what Sam describes as
a disclosure that is, frankly, either the most alarming or the most interesting thing in the world, depending on how you take it.
Sam and Eric's audience is sharp, but pretty niche. But Dr. Phil's audience, his audience is mainstream America, the wide middle section of the bell curve. Average Joes and Janes whose day-to-day lives never slowed down long enough for them to ponder the impact of finding out that humanity may not be at the top of the food chain after all. That's why they picked him. But here's the catch. If the government keeps dragging their feet on true transparency and they only release the bottom of the barrel stuff, they might lose Dr. Phil, just like they lost Sam Harris a few years ago.
What happened is the person kept, writing a check that he didn't cash. Like he kept saying, next week I'm going to put you on a Zoom call with people who you will recognize, and they're going to be, former heads of the CIA and people who just you're going to within 5 seconds of being on the Zoom call, you'll know this is not a hoax. That happened maybe 3 times. There was just one phone conversation, and then it was just texts. That's just a bunch of texts. So I it's not that my bullshit detector ever really went off in a big way. It's just the thing never happened, and I lost interest.
As a longtime UFO nerd, I'm honestly glad Dr. Phil is getting involved. He comes across as someone who has never had this on his radar, so his eyes are opening in real time to a shocking reality. The reality that for 79 years, highly trained members of our military and government have reported objects, phenomenon, and encounters in our skies, in our seas, and around our nuclear assets and infrastructure that have left officials completely baffled. And they tried to hide it all from you. Dr. Phil's curiosity feels genuine, and his frustration seems sincere. His investigation into the UFO topic will be incredibly relatable for a massive percentage of the population that has dismissed UFOs as poppycock for their entire lives. A major paradigm shift is unfolding right before our eyes. The path to disclosure has moved at a drip, drip, drop for us UFO nerds, but it might just hit the general public like a hurricane. And Dr. Phil might just serve as a lighthouse that many vulnerable people in our population will look towards during the upcoming storm. Now, go check out Dr. Phil's conversation.
So what are your thoughts?
I have to say, I haven't seen this guy before. He's pretty good, but he needs to punch it up a little more energy there. But this is exactly what I was thinking. I was outside working. I was wasn't watching. I was listening to some Dr. Phil, all this stuff he's saying. And I was thinking to myself, Dr. Phil.
Why? Yeah.
In my mind, you would choose Dr. Phil when you needed to grab and capture an audience that you're not already getting traction from, or you feel strongly these people aren't listening and they don't care, and you have to find a way.
We are not in their algorithm.
No.
The Dr. Phil viewers, the big picture, and people like us are not in their algorithm.
So when I'm watching this guy, because I'm seeing this for the first time with a lot of you, I'm thinking that is exactly what my thoughts were on the matter concerning Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't add anything to that. 100% in total agreement that is what this is. And you cannot take this lightly.
No.
For the fact that Donald Trump, if this is true, sent a handwritten note saying, have fun with this, and gave him access. Of course, obviously, we know that he did have initial access. He was able to analyze it before it ever came out on that Friday. So that's a big deal. You cannot take it lightly that they chose him.
Well, guess
and
what?
That is why they chose him.
This is I won't say probably. This is possibly the beginning, because it appears that he's been tapped on the shoulder and activated.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your marching orders. Get out there, put some lipstick on this pig, and sell this thing.
All right, one last thing. It's going to be a little bit shorter show than normal, but I cannot close this program out without revealing an actual video of a non-human intelligence.
If you got to go to the restroom, go now and get back.
Don't even go now.
You don't want to miss
Pray
this.
that God touches your bladder and hope. By the way, you can press pause. It's technology.
No.
All right, but listen.
Bladders be
Y'all,
strong. Bladders be strong.
People keep asking for the images.
Yeah,
and it is not by chance that a very powerful voice in Hollywood, and it has influence around the world.
So much power.
Had an encounter with an actual being. And y'all,
we're bringing it to you.
We're bringing it tonight breaking right here on the big picture.
Yes.
We've already had multiple shout outs for the big picture from all these powerful people that watch our show.
Right.
They're going to really probably come here now because of this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, for weeks, this man built up that he had an image, a video, an actual video of an alien that came to his house and came in his garage. This is none other than the powerful, influential, just voice of media influence.
And that's a form of intimidation. How are you going to come
James
up? How are you going to come up in a man's garage?
Franco.
Let's go.
Some of y'all are like, who is James Franco? You don't know who James Franco is? Powerful. He's a powerful actor who's been off the radar. He comes back on the radar.
He's been off the reservation a few times too, to be honest with you.
And this is what he says. James Franco posted surveillance camera footage from his home. The footage appears to show strange creatures opening and closing doors, running around the backyard, peeking through the kitchen window. It looks very strange. What do you think? Real aliens have come to James Franco's house. So I'm just going to, Sandy, no comment. We're not going to comment. We're going to let this breaking. I mean, I just got to play it. It's just no other way around it. Here it is.
Go. Putting that Las Vegas family stuff to shame.
I don't know. Did we just break it wide open?
Incontrovertible proof, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
Beam me up. Bing.
And for the record.
Records. Receipts. What?
Do you think there's anybody in the live chat right now that thinks that's real?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You do?
Somebody was busting me down last week because of the Mitch McConnell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you do know.
It's okay.
Let's retroactively talk about Mitch McConnell. Last week, you do know we were not saying that he was actually breakdancing.
Well,
people thought that was real.
Right.
Do we have to always just clarify that we think it's not real now going forward?
We can if we need to.
So what do you think about James Franco's alien? Is it real or not?
Has anyone ever seen anything as riveting as this footage? I mean,
absolutely. I would
come
agree.
on.
I would agree.
This is somebody.
In every one of his videos, he's wearing shirts that's got holes in it. Looks like he's homeless. And he goes, when he finishes this, he closes his laptop and he gets real serious. And he goes, you can go watch the video for yourself. He goes, there it is. He goes, you wanted proof.
Yeah.
This was in my garage.
Do you think he just practices the method and he just always is in character?
Probably.
Like with the T-shirts and all the other things?
Dude, he built a big TikTok following and a big Instagram following, building it up because he told everybody, I think it was July 13th is when it came out. That was when he said he was going to show it on July 13th.
How long
13?
How long did this story, was it cultivated? Over
several weeks.
Okay.
Several weeks. Yeah, several weeks. You know what else is cultivating? I'll tell you what else is cultivating. Here the Watchman is cultivating, and it is here. It is coming up really quick, y'all. I got to show y'all this.
It's going to be good.
Let me just tell you, you didn't think you was going to hear this, but this is what I've been told. More than likely, by tomorrow, it will be sold out. So if you're going to get a ticket now. If you want to win 2 free tickets to go, you just got to get yourself there, take care of your hotel, get yourself there. But the 2 tickets worth $120 a piece, $240 for you and your spouse, you and your friend. If you want to win them, come back Wednesday night for Bible study. And maybe Thursday night as well, I'm going to give away 2 more sets of tickets. Now, I can't remember. I think Kaylin is your name. I can't remember fully. I can't remember who it was. To be honest with you, forgive me if I get the screen name wrong. You won the 2 tickets, found out you couldn't go. And so we're going to make them available again to someone else. But I want you to know that I am going to cover your on demand. I'm going to get you the on demand so that you can watch it. So we'll be contacting you as well. But go get your tickets now. Use Ragland 20 and you'll get $20 off. It's going to be sold out probably this week is what I've been told.
Exciting.
Today or tomorrow, they're saying it's probably going to be sold out, but you still got a chance to get in there. Many of you are saying that you're coming. In fact, I met somebody in Florida that was there that said they're coming. So it's going to be exciting. So go there. And then last but certainly not least, Sandy, let's go to Israel.
Why not?
Let's go to Israel. Let's take our big picture family to Israel with us November 1st to the 10th. Still time to get in.
Becoming more and more real by the day.
It is. Oh, my goodness.
Odds are still good. We will not have any interruption.
That's right.
Everything will be able to go forth.
Yep.
And wow.
November 1st to the 10th, Israel 26. The direct link is in the description below. Make that faith statement. Just believe God, you're going to do it. Go ahead and get in there and get registered and go to Israel with us. Sandy, very important show tonight. I'm sure we stirred up some folks tonight and stirred up some devils.
Maybe not.
But here's the bottom line. We want to close with this. Listen to me right now. I'm gonna take off the big picture hat and I'm going to put on Pastor Larry hat, okay? I want to talk to you for just a second and tell you, there is nothing to be afraid of. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Listen to what I just said. Yes. I want to say it again. Power, love, and a sound mind. Sound mind doesn't just mean you got a good head on your shoulders. When you're talking about the word of God, go look at Romans chapter 12. It says, do not be conformed to this world, the narrative of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you will allow the word of God, shows like this, your pastor, you get a good church, good pastor, to equip you to renew your mind, to have a sound mind, whatever comes, we're going to be okay. And then what you got to understand is that God has chosen us and trusted us to be his hands and his feet and his voice in this moment. And let me tell you, we've learned it. When we went into this realm and started talking about it, the spiritual warfare comes out like unbelievable. Really and y'all know a lot of stuff that's happened. But you know what? We're not slowing down. We're not turning back. We understand the assignment, and nobody is going to stop us from getting on this program, telling you what's going on in the world, but bringing it back to the Word of God.
Well said.
All right. See you next time. We're always going to remind you, no matter what's going on in the world, we ain't woke. We certainly are awake. We'll see you next time.
Help us build the big picture family. We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. Go to LarryRagland.com to give a one-time gift or become a monthly partner. Any amount blesses the entire big picture family. While you're there, pick up our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect on social media, and get on the big picture mailing list at LarryRagland.com. Join us and be a part of the big picture family, where we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.